in the world.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me whatever you'd like. Maybe Captain James Holden. Maybe the gangliest gangly of all gangly ganglies. Welcome to... what's tonight? Monday night? Monday night Q&A. Rampage repairs. Begin. Oh. Poor buddy. Poor buddy. Also, this Cinesplore that blasted into the ground really hard is not pleased. So this needs to come apart. Tried to fly this today with the Gemfan 3.5s. This is the setup that I had on this rig at the American Criterium bicycle racing live flying gig. And it flew great there in this exact same setup, and now it's not. So yeah, something's going on with this. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm a little confused. I guess one of the motors took a hit, and I guess because the arms seem like they're totally fine. But yeah, we'll get it into beta flight. We'll get it into the motors tab. We'll see if one of these motors is more floppy than the rest. If that's not it, it could be a gyro. It could be the flight controller. But we'll get to the bottom of it. You know how we do. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, all you gotta do is type CiottiFPV and it'll light up an orange. For me, not for you. Like this. Type CiottiFPV, it lights up an orange and know that you're talking to me. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume that you guys are talking to each other. Whack FPV said, CiottiFPV, what's up, man? Good to meet you. Chat with you at Rampage. You as well, Whack. Denzel the Terrible says, yo, DJ CiottiFPV dropped the beat. CMYK says, how was the UGA shoot? It was really good. Really, really good. Busy day. Really busy day today. I actually just took like I just laid down for like a half an hour. I was just exhausted. I'm looking forward to maybe going to sleep at a semi-normal time tonight. That would be nice. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. It's been a real struggle. Lovely people in the chat are named Chopper FPV, CMYK, Bob Noxious, Denzel, the Terrible, Whack FPV, Dan636, McConnell Studios, Yarbs, Richard, Frank Nicholas, Bob Noxious, Paul McDonald, RC Ritter, Aircon, Jesse Garcia, Night Owl, Charles Marseille, B-Man, Paul McDonald, Bork, Zanakis is in the house of the one and only FPV Exchange. If you're not using FPV Exchange, you're just hurting yourself. You know? I don't know what to tell you. Harbles FPV, Huff 19, Skint FPV, Go-Kart Mozart's in the house, B-Man, Huff 19, Denzel the Terrible again, Brandon's Baked Beans, we're gonna leave it there. Carbon Cage, nope, we gotta get the big and little cage up in here. Paul McDonald, if you want the Gangly Man to say your name, you gotta get into the chat early, you gotta say something. And, you know, I'll give you a shout out. Skit says, from Bardwell to CiottiFPV, why I love Mondays now? Hell yeah. It is a hell of a lineup with Joshua and I, man, right? These two Q&A streams on Sundays and Mondays are, I don't know, in my opinion, they're pretty awesome. You guys ask really, really good questions, and yeah, we tend to have really good sort of conversations. It's a shame more people don't come to either one of these. It's hard, right? Because it's an open-ended kind of Q&A session, and usually when people click on a YouTube video, they're clicking like they want to be, you know, they want short-form content first and foremost, but you know, they want to know what they're clicking on, and you know, this is 2 hours, 4 hours, the both of us, of you know, random questions and whatnot. But my God, the best stuff comes up, you know? Like, we talk about some of the best stuff and rant and shit all over In-N-Out Burger. Which is much different than shitting the In-N-Out Burger you just ate. Carbon Cage says, oh! Put your head down on the desk. Put your big head down on the desk. As you can hear, my throat is continuing to be just a general dick. Whatever the hell this, like, sinus infection is, or whatever that I got 2 weeks ago, it is still sticking around and being a total pain in the ass. Skint tagged me and said, what's up? Zanakis dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, dude. Paul McDonald with a $5 super chat. He says, throw money at the Gangly Man and smash that like. Thank you very much, Paul. I agree. I agree. This is a fully, like, crowd-funded kind of situation here on CiottiFPV-ville. And this is my full-time gig. So if you like these live streams and you want to vote for the live streams to be the thing that I spend my living on, because that's kind of it, right? Like, I'm super driven to do these flying gigs. But if the live stream pays better than the flying gigs, I'll spend more time on the live stream. You know what I mean? So you can vote for what you want me to do by heading over to CiottiFPV.com. There's a Patreon channel that helps me a ton. There's a Fiverr page. You can work one-on-one with me. I love doing that. Help you build better, help you tune better, help you fly better on the simulator. There's a Teespring store with shirts like this one. Look what a terrific shill I am. The Collective is the name for the beautiful group of bastards that have joined my Patreon and benefit from all the cool articles that I've written over there, audio versions of these live streams you can listen to like podcasts, a Facebook group, 2 Facebook groups actually, a Discord channel with all kinds of cool stuff going. Hey! One of the things going on over on Discord is the Stick and Dick End Fund. I have bought one of every single stick end that exists for FPV, and I have them in 2 big bags, and those bags are going to get mailed out very soon, but I need a couple of people to hit me up. A couple of people that have done super chats. I don't have your addresses, and I also need to know if you want to be on the M3 stick ends or the M4 stick ends. And those people's names are Compost Pile. So if anybody knows Compost Pile here on YouTube, do me a favor, tell them to get in touch with me. And it's not Steady Eddie. Is it Reed? I think it's Reed. But I talk to Reed every week. I forgot to. He has a standing one-on-one appointment with me. Matthew Vega. Here's what I'm looking at. Here's the Google Docs that I put together for it. Kevin Sumner, Parker, of course, they're going to be the first ones to get it. Remy Tim, Compost Pile's not on there. Glenn Burnett, yeah, I need Glenn Burnett. If you're on this list and your address is not in Patreon, do me a favor and send me a message. Kenneth, I have you on the M3 side. Kenneth, I don't think I have your address, though. The next thing I need to do is get everybody's addresses. But most of these folks are on Patreon, so we should be totally fine. Looks like Blizzard FPV is not on here either. So I need Blizzard FPV to get in touch with me. Matthew Vega is good. He's on M3. I also need... Oh, no, there's Zachariah. He's in there. Reed, I'll talk to him on Wednesday. Aber the Ham, you're good. You're on M4. Steady Eddie, you're on M3. Metal Dirt Skin, you're on M4. Glenn Burnett, M3. Okay, cool. Yeah, so those people, if you know those people, do me a favor, get them a message and get that message back to me. Oh, no, just get them a message to get in touch with me so I can get all their info. Harwell's FPV with a $4.20 super chat. It's the weed number. He says, Gangly Gang. Thank you, brother. Grizz FPV says, what's up to? Hey, if you wear medium t-shirts, you're officially in the Gangly Gang. I'm getting rid of some FPV t-shirts. If you're interested in random FPV t-shirts for the cost of shipping, and you're on Gangly Gang size medium life, message me. CiottiFPV all over the place. Facebook, Instagram, smoke signals. Grizz FPV says, what's up? Charles Marseille says, we missed that frameless quad dance. What's that? Skint says, what is a good affordable 5-inch build do you recommend? Skint, so there's on my Fiverr, like I was talking about before, one of the things that I do is called build planning. The whole point behind build planning is I have a list of like 20 some odd questions that I ask you. Where do you fly? How often do you crash? How long have you been flying? Who are your favorite pilots? What do you crash into? Concrete, grass, trees, stuff like that, right? So I have all these questions that I ask you, and your answers to those questions are what dial me in, because there's a million different builds. You know, there's long-range builds, there's cinematic builds, there's freestyle builds, there's just stupid builds. So yeah, you know, what's a good build? There's just a million options. If you're looking for something bind and fly, unfortunately, I'm not the guy. I don't really do reviews. So I've never flown any of the bind and flies. And if I haven't personally flown a rig, or if I don't have a close friend that has, whose opinion I trust, I just don't talk about it. In this case, I do. Joshua Bardwell is a really good friend, and he's got amazing reviews over on his channel for a good a good number of the bind and flies, not all of them for sure. But yeah, if you're looking for a bind and fly, I would go off of whatever Joshua recommends. If you're looking to do a piece by piece build, I need the answers to all these questions. Otherwise, the only other option is for me just to say, hey, my build is great, maybe you'll like it. I have no idea if you actually will. But over the years, over many years, I've sort of refined my personal favorite freestyle build. It's based around a session 5. If you're not going to fly a session 5, it's probably not going to work right. Well, it's not that it's not going to work right, it's just not optimized for that, right? But if you're going to fly a session 5, the FPVCycle Glide with T-Motor F40 Pro 4s, 1950 kV on 6S, Acon ESC, flight controller doesn't really matter, but if you get a T-Motor or an Acon, they'll be good. All your other option is a T-Motor ESC. They make good ESCs as well. Acon makes T-Motor stuff. They're top of the line stuff. Don't get the Pacer stuff. Get the top of the line T-Motor stuff, in my opinion. And then, whatever video system you want, DJI or analog, whatever receiver you want. And then TPU from Brain 3D or BMC 3D, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a couple little tricks here and there, but yeah, that's what works for me. It probably won't work for you. Everybody's list of priorities is completely different. So it's pretty rare that you'll have the exact same priority list as anyone else. But yeah, if you crash the way I do, if you fly the style that I do, if you fly the payload that I do, Tattoo R-Line 6S 1050 batteries, version 1s, they're lighter. Yeah, if you fly all those things like similar to me, then this will be a great build for you. If not, it will be lacking a little bit. That's why we custom build. We custom build so that we can have a rig that is absolutely perfectly dialed in to where we fly, when we fly, how often we crash, what we crash into, what our payload is, what we're doing with our footage, all that good stuff. I work with a lot of folks that are like, yo, I'm never going to have a YouTube channel. I just fly for fun. And I'm like, cool, we're not carrying around a GoPro. No reason for that. And yeah, if you're not carrying around a GoPro, this build is stupid. This is designed around an 80-gram payload. So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt, but there you go. James Omega's in the house. He says, how was all the fixed wing stuff out there? I don't know what that means, James. Where is out there? I haven't seen fixed wing stuff. I don't really get involved in fixed wing stuff. There was some fixed wing stuff at Rampage. Are we talking about Rampage, James? I didn't pay much attention, to be totally honest. Shelby did this unbelievable, impossible gauntlet run thing, which was just fucking mind blowing. But come on, man. Why you gotta do me like this, nose? And throat? And ears? And then there was the, Rotor Riot had their VTOL, which was pretty cool. Really big. Jesus, this is a big shitter. But yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to the fixed wing stuff beyond that, to be completely honest. It's just sort of not my thing. Scott says, what up? Zanakis dropping link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, brother. Paul McDonald says, did you get those M3 35mm finally? I did not, Paul. How'd you send them? Georgia Mail is pretty awful, so we'll blame Georgia Mail for the time being. They're very slow. Stuff usually gets here, but it usually gets here a couple of days after it should. No idea how or why, but Skid to FPV with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, brother, for supporting the madness that is trying to be a full-time FPV donkey. Carbon Cage says, usually I have to watch you later, mate, because it's 10 a.m. Tuesday here, and we get nagged to get up from the old lady of the house. Shout out to Andrew, we love you, LOL. CMYK says, check the Discord live stream channel. All right. What do we got? Who said that? Who said that? CMYK? All right, CMYK's got something going on. Looks like he's building a... What are you building, a tiny trainer? That's the there's your problem. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. Tiny trainer's great. Thousands pad lift at 30 minutes. What? Looks normal. Where's the lifted pad? Oh, the white one. Oh yeah, the white one just... Well, that sucks. What AIO is that? I mean, maybe you got it way too hot. It doesn't look like it. When it was soldered down, it looks fairly shiny. It doesn't... Usually when you get it way too hot, it burns off all the flux. And this will get very cloudy and just not shiny. And it looks plenty shiny. So, yeah. That I would blame that on the AIO, not on your soldering. Oh, shitters. So yeah, that would be my opinion. I would get in touch with whoever you bought that whoever you got that AIO from and be like, yo, Ciotti said it's not my fault. Worth a shot. Man, I am struggling. What am I having an allergy attack? Hold on, let me take an allergy pill real quick. I think I have them right here. Ah, balls. Where are they? Hold on. This is ridiculous. This is just insane. Here they are. Ugh. Yeah. Why is this happening to me? Why is this my life? All right, hold on. All right. This is my life. Man fights off allergy attack live on stream. What's up, Rocky B? He says, what's up, everyone? CiottiFPV, how's it going? Gamma Gonad says, I normally wear medium, but my beer cut is starting to catch up with me. I guess I'll show off my beautiful bulging body. Yeah, shoot me a message. All right. Cool. We're caught up on chat. All right. So what's happening? What's happening in FPV right now? What's something? Did a bunch of you guys get tiny trainers? FPV Crate put a really cool little tiny trainer box together. I don't know if it's a box or if it's a kit, but you know, whatever. Man, the computer is really cranking. FPVCycle 3104s are on the way. Still waiting for the email from Bob that they're ready to go. Ready to order. What else? So I had a gig today with UGA, University of Georgia in Athens, for so their football team is sponsored by a realtor, and they were so one of my previous clients, one of my very first clients actually, Carmichael Garden Group. That I did a studio fly through of. It's one of the ones where I came in the window, flew around their photography studio, and then flew out the window and down to the street level where one of their other guys was, and then his hands come up in front of the camera and I fly out. They got hired to do this commercial for UGA, and they remembered me and brought me on. It's pretty interesting. UGA has this just fucking massive building for their football team. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen I don't get it. I don't understand why there's this much money in college sports. I don't really think it's a good thing, if I'm completely honest. But, you know, whatever. Wild facility. And, so yeah, they were shooting a bunch of pickups with the coach of the football team and a couple of the executives from the realtor, whatever the hell it's called. And yeah, it was super fun. They wanted me to basically just fly like the interesting hallways and spots in the building. And then there were a couple of specific shots that they wanted to get, like in the weight room and on the gigantic indoor football field that they have as a part of this building. Unfortunately, we were going to fly a bunch of outside stuff too, but it was fucking pouring rain today. So yeah, that was it was interesting. It was almost like a mix. I don't know. There were like home tour vibes in a way, right? Because I'm showing like I'm used to like subject driven flying, and typically the subject is a person or a car or something like that, right? In this case, like the building was the subject, so that was interesting. It was not willing to ship to Canada. Well, I mean, if you pay for the shipping, I guess I'm willing to ship to Canada, but Jesus Christ, shipping to Canada is so expensive. It's going to cost you like, it's going to be a minimum $16. I don't know what the deal is, but shipping to Canada is just a goddamn nightmare. Yeah, but if you're willing to pay for shipping, yeah, and I'll send you 2 shirts or whatever to make it worth it. So yeah, message me. So yeah, that was interesting. You know, they've got a whole bunch of hallways with like Hall of Fame for how fast mans can runs on footballs fields. So it was interesting to try to figure out a way to kind of fly through these different hallways and different spots and like show these things on the wall in a way that's not just the same exact thing as a person walking down the hallway with a gimbal, which, to be quite honest, would have turned out better. I don't know about better, but it would have been totally fine to do that instead of FPV. But, you know, I tried to, like, tie hallways together and do elevation changes, you know, just do things that only FPV can do, right? Because when you do things that only FPV can do, that's what makes people kind of like, you know, get a little bit more invested in what they're watching. So yeah, there were a couple of spots where I could kind of change levels and go from a second story down to a first story, or like a couple of stairways that I could just go whizzing down and like have a nice reveal at the bottom of like another mural that's on the wall or a fucking sports ball trophy somewhere. So yeah, super interesting. To not have a person as the subject, right? Like I've today made me realize that I've gotten really used to subject-driven flying where the subject is a person or a car. Typically a person, right? Most music videos that I've done over the last couple of years involve like 1 or 2 hip-hop artists, and that's the subject, and there's a certain way that you kind of fly and move around with that. And yeah, again, this is more like real estate-y, and that's just a different vibe, and that was really cool. It was a really cool opportunity to get to do that. And then we did one last pickup at the end of the day. Thankfully, it stopped raining finally, where we went to one of these like massive houses and filmed. Kind of corny, but it'll work. Kind of like fly down to the house. The bulldog mascot guy comes up to the front door. I kind of pull up behind him and then back it out, and then he walks into the house with the homeowners. They go running through the house to get out into the back where this amazing pool is, and I just backed it out and slid it blindly sideways around the side of the house, and then they ran through, and then by the time they got to the backyard, I was kind of coming around, and then the rest of the realty was back there. Ah, yay! You bought a house! Yay! And that was that. you know. Bubby's in the house. What's up, homie? How are you? 661 says, what the F? Just got an email from Rotor Riot about Bubby's new microquad, the Bubito. Have you seen it? I have seen it. I saw it on the internet months ago, and then I got to see it at Rampage. It's a really cool little, I think it's a 1.6 inch frame. It's roughly a 75. It's basically one of these toothpicks. It's a 1.6 inch toothpick frame. But what I really like about it is it has a school bus canopy, so you can run a top mount battery, and it pushes the camera forward a little bit. Yeah, I dig it. I haven't done the whole 1.6 inch toothpick thing yet. It's interesting. I don't know if I will, because I'm not good enough to fly something like that inside without beating the shit out of the walls and the paint and stuff, and I'm about to be in a house that I would be the one to have to repair the walls and the paint and shit, so that ain't fucking happening. And then outside the new house, like, I don't really need something that small, I don't think. I think a 3-inch toothpick, which is a more sussed out formula, right? Like the TP3, just the 3-inch toothpicks in general. Like, we know the exact right motor, and we have good motors available. We know the exact right prop, and there are good props available. And yeah, I mean, that amount of power that a TP3. Well, and here's the other thing too, is that the TP3 can carry a, which we're gonna do here at some point. TP3 will carry a naked Vista and a Nebula Pro Nano. So that becomes a really intriguing kind of setup versus analog, right? Anything 1.2 inch or 1.6 inch, technically you don't have to put it on analog, but the weight penalty is way too much for something that's kind of that small. So yeah, the long and short of it is I'm just not good enough to fly a non-duct. I can barely fly ducted 1.2 inch tiny whoops inside. To go up to 1.6 inch, we saw how that went, right? I tried really hard to make the Mobula 7 ELRS work inside my tiny little apartment here, and even in Maggie's place. And there was nothing that it could do that the 1.2 inch tiny whoops didn't do considerably better, other than runtime, which I don't care about. And yeah, just not having the prop guards, like, that just won't work for me. I'm just not good enough, but that's fine. You know, there's for like the best description I've ever heard of these 1.2 and 1.6 inch toothpicks, basically, right? That's what they are. Is their garden rippers, and that's awesome. And I'm kind of intrigued by that. But the new house doesn't really have much of a garden. It's just got like big gaps, and so yeah, big gaps are going to be better suited for the TP3. So yeah, I don't know. I'm super curious. I do have the Mobula 7 1S ELRS flight control, or AIO, which doesn't fit in any of the tiny whoop frames. So I'm going to use that to build one of these, probably. But it'll probably be the Newbie Drone Mosquito frame, because I already have that. It's just sitting here, and I can just drop the 4-in-1 and the camera pod right on there, because it's just a standard, you know, toothpick formula. So yeah, I'm gonna do that at some point here, but I don't know. I'm not expecting like miracles, but it'll be cool. It'll be cool to check it out. It bugs me that I haven't flown one of these little tiny toothpicks, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing in the world. Most of those people haven't really flown 3-inch toothpicks to have a good comparison point. But I digress. I am excited to fly one of those little bastards. 661 says, but is it CiottiFPV approved? It is. It is. It is. It is. Terminal Insanity says, my baby tooth AIO is using TXRX for receiver. SBUS goes unused. Can I remap SBUS pad for something else? I think it depends, Terminal Insanity. It depends if it's a true inverted SBUS pad or if it's just a pad named SBUS. So, yeah. Is it an F4? If it's an F4 processor, that's probably an inverted pad, and you probably won't be able to use it for anything else. But yeah, that's basically what you want to try to figure out. Is it a truly inverted pad? CMYK says, have you built a Darwin stack into a Cinesplorer yet? I have not, CMYK. That Darwin stack, I was going to build that into a Tooth Fairy 2. But it was really expensive, and I was pretty confident that I could get a 20x20 stack in there, which I did. Bubby FPV says, check out my video on YouTube when you get a chance. One day, rips inside pretty good. I've seen you flying it, Bubby. It's great. You're a 10,000 times better pilot than I am, though. So, yeah, like watching you fly it doesn't really benefit me. Because I'm just shit in comparison. There's a, you know, I spent a good amount of time this winter flying 65mm ducted tiny whoops in here and at my girlfriend's house, and yeah, I mean I crash every 20 seconds and it's just a complete nightmare. So taking the ducts off would make that situation even worse for me because it would become even more slidey, which is the problem that I have. So yeah, I'm just the long and short of it is I'm just not a good enough pilot. Like it's awesome that you and a lot of the other young guys can fly those things around inside, but us old folks, like we're just not good. Which is why I love the description of it being a garden ripper. For us mere mortals on the sticks. I think that's a much more realistic use of that rig. Or, I don't know. I don't go on Facebook much because every single time I go on Facebook, everybody says that every single rig in the entire world is easy to fly everywhere. It's amazing how many people there are out there that are better pilots than all of us. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild. Somebody was just shitting all over me today, telling me that their 10-year-old is a better pilot than me because he can fly a heavy-ass 2S whoop in the house without ever crashing or ever breaking anything. And I was like, cool, man. Good luck. Terminal Insanity says, is the FPVCycle 1 to 2S 7-amp AIO... Oh, it's the FPVCycle 1 to 2S... Oh, that sucks. I'm assuming that Terminal Insanity is referring to the picture that CMYK shared. Otherwise, I don't know what. Otherwise, Terminal Insanity is just randomly saying the name of an AIO. I would definitely CMYK. I would definitely get in touch with Bob to swap out that AIO. PJ Denard says, I converted my bashed up Meteor 75 to the newbie drone Mosquito and love it for backyard freestyle ripper on 1S. Very cool. I think I'm going to have a pretty similar setup. Yo, this is fucking killing me right now. Come on. Come on. I'm so fucking tired of being sick. God damn it. It's been like 2 weeks now. No, it's not Corona. If one more fucking person tells me to get a coronavirus test, I'm gonna chop your heads off. It's not Corona. Coronavirus is very easy. You have back pains. You lose your sense of smell and taste. It's not that. Just sick. B-Man says, looks just. Yeah. I'm. You know, man flu and all, right? We're as most of us are cisgender white males, right? a part of being a cis white male is just being a fucking fragile ass bastard, and if anything goes wrong, if we're sick at all, it's like we just shut down, because you know it's not monkeypox. No. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna live. Terminal Insanity says, no, I mean the AO. AO with the SBUS pads. Yeah, I bet you can't use that SBUS pad for anything else, because I bet you it's inverted. Mustang Pilot 1 says, what is the best drone platform for the new Bones, cinematic / freestyle? I think I actually know the answer. Well, what's the what is it, 58 grams? I think I know the answer to that. I hope I know the answer to that, because this is my next build. This is the top part of the frame of the Lumineer QAVS Pro something, I don't know. If you go on Get FPV, you'll find it. It's two pieces like this, top and bottom. The other one I've got like the motors all standing up on it. I think this might be, although it really depends. This is potentially the best platform for, this is actually the bottom plate, for if you want like a hybrid high speed, low speed kind of setup. It can be low speed because it has these little, oh boy, this is taking a turn. I wanted this to be a good stream. I feel like I haven't had many great streams lately. There's been a lot going on in life. I wanted this to be a good one. But, man, my fucking face is not cooperating. So this frame has these little foam guys that just kind of snap on there, and they'll help slow this thing down. Without these foam guys on it, that's pretty much the profile. So this thing is going to cut through the air like a son of a bitch. So this is a rig that will be more efficient. So one of the big reasons I'm building this is for the Criterium Cup. They're bringing me on for a race in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I need something that's going to be able to keep pace efficiently with the 30+ mile an hour cyclists. And but I also want something that has some element of prop protection. And yeah, I think this is it. I think this is the one. For the Bones, this would totally pick it up. The reason why this came to mind is that in terms of payload, this is going to be really good for the... Yeah, that's going to be a really good payload for this rig. If you're looking to do hardcore Cinewhoop stuff, though, with the Bones, this ain't it. I would go with a more standard setup like a Cinesplore, like an FPVCycle Cinesplore. You're going to have a whole bunch of duct options. It's removable arms. Yeah, it's just, it's the platform that I think I would go with for a Bones. Because with a Bones, you're not going to be sub 250. It's just not going to happen. And I mean, the Cinesplore is a platform that'll have more power than you need, but it's always better to have a little bit more than a little bit less. So, yeah. Between those two, I think those would be my recommendation. Kind of depends on what you want to do with it. I would not trust that flying around people, though. We're back! Yeah, I would not fly that around people. Especially like talent. Friends and family, who cares, you know? They won't sue you if you prop strike them and put them in the hospital. Well, this is a big old shit sandwich. Boy. How awful is it for you guys to just watch me melt down into... Oh, God! Melt down into full-blown allergy attack mode. 661 says, I blame you. I got two 25 amp AIOs from Cyclone FPV sale for $29 each. Now I'm building a 2-inch BQE pickpocket to put the run cam thumb on. Hold on. I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'm gonna play some flying for you guys, though. Sunday cloudy. What's this? Oh, shit. Yeah, I know this. I just played this for you guys. Hold on. Pipes! No. Best spot in Alpharetta? I'll be the judge of that. This is not the best spot in Alpharetta. Whew. Here you guys go. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on, it's gonna pinwheel. I gotta restart OBS. Hold on. Here you go. I'll be right back. Woo! Yeah, I wanted that. I remember wanting that dive so bad and just being like, but it just wasn't worth it. Mustang Pilot says, thanks, you're certainly welcome. Terminal Insanity says, could I use an inverted SBUS pad to control a buzzer with its own driver? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if you could do that. Kim Fuse is in the house. Alex is kicking my ass since we got back from Rampage. Hang in there, buddy. You know what I noticed? Yes, Kim, glide frame. It's glide frames for everything. I've got, glide frames are just, they're so cheap and they're so adaptable. There's 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, 5-inch True X arms. Then there's 5mm thick Dead Cat arms. There are 5.5-inch prop Dead Cat arms, 6-inch arms, 7-inch arms. There's tons of TPU for it. It's very lightweight. It's true X, which I love, with only a tiny little bit of props in view. You can slam the deck down on 15mm standoffs because in the front of the frame, there's room for a 20x20 flight controller. So you can go like camera, 20x20 flight controller, 30x30 ESC, which I love because they're way more durable. Well, they used to be way more durable. 20x20 ESCs are now finally catching up. And then in the rear, you can put a Vista or an air unit or an analog setup. It's just a beautiful layout. True X is just better than Squished X. And I think my favorite thing about the Glide, though, is the motor protection. The ends of the arms have these little devil horns on them. And what tends to happen, as happened here, is when you hit hard enough, you'll break one of those devil horns off, but usually it'll protect the motor. In this case, I went full throttle into the ground with the GoPro and everything on it. It's just too much. And this little devil horn here had already been damaged. Usually these will take at least 2 or 3 hits. The other thing I like about it, though, is that the arms are just the right strength. The arms are not too strong. They're not too weak. And in most crashes that are violent enough to break the motor, the arm will actually break first. And I would rather replace a $4 arm with a couple of screws than a $26 motor with a soldering iron. So yeah, the regular old Glide frame, 5mm thick arms, 5-inch front and rear, is the best freestyle platform I've ever built on. I've built stronger frames, I've built weaker frames, I've built heavier frames, I've built lighter frames, and the Glide is just like perfect, right down the middle. And it's half as much as some of the other, fancy frames that are out there, which for me is a really big deal. So yeah, the Glide frame is just everything for me. It's been so good to me. There are certainly more fancy frames available. There are frames that deal with vibrations better. There are frames that are stronger, but for my payload, which is a Session 5, and the way that I fly here in Atlanta, which is slamming on concrete pretty hard, pretty constantly, the Glide frame has just always demolished everything else that I've tried. And I've tried most stuff. I've tried most frames that are out there. And yeah, the Glide is just like this magical combination of all these things that come down into one. And it's nice that one of the other big things is that it's so adaptable. So I can have the same exact frame as a long-range rig, as a high-speed rig, as a freestyle rig, as a cinematic rig. So yeah, I've got Glide set up as all those things. High-speed rig with the 6mm thick arms, cinematic rig up here with the Dead Cat 5-inch 5mm front arms, long range-ish up here with the 5.5-inch prop Dead Cat arms, and then a bunch of freestyle bashers with the standard kind of setup. CMYK says Gesundheit. I didn't realize that's how it's spelled. That's pretty cool. Bubby says, when's the Ciotti 5-inch frame coming? I've got a 3-inch frame that's just sitting here that I haven't built and flown yet. I just haven't had time. I can't imagine that I'll ever do a 5-inch frame because I wouldn't be able to do anything better than the Glide. Like, I know that sounds insane, but it's just true. Like, if I were to do a 5-inch frame, it would just be a Glide. I wouldn't change a fucking thing. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't make the arms stronger. I wouldn't make the arms lighter. I wouldn't make the arms weaker. I wouldn't make the arms heavier. I wouldn't change the motor protection on the ends of the arms. I wouldn't change the geometry. I wouldn't, it's just... It's that good. Probably just making the same as the Glide. Put your name on it, I'll buy it. I do. I mean, if you really want to buy a Glide with my name on it, I am halfway through 3 basically bind and fly Glides. Man, they're gonna cost a fortune though. In fairness, but yeah, I am a little of the ways into 3 Glides that I'm building to sell. But I mean, I'm trying to get like $800-900 for these to offset the, you know, as like a fundraiser for the whole like doing this thing as a living. So yeah, I don't know. You guys can just buy whatever you want though. 661 says the Glide Hammer. Yeah, so the Glide Hammer is basically my high-speed build, which we've got to add a bunch of the white stuff too. But yeah, this is basically Glide Hammer. I don't actually recommend the 6mm arms on anything that you're going to crash, believe it or not, because the 6mm arms are so strong that if you slam it really hard, it'll break the base plate. And breaking base plates sucks, as CL1 owners know. So yeah, the 6mm glide arms are really only for like a more powerful rig that you're not going to crash. And that's exactly what that is. That's a high-speed rig. I built that to chase 100+ mile-an-hour dirt track cars. And for that, it's great. You know, it's got a 40-degree up-tilt GoPro mount, so the props are not in view, even in standard TrueX format. The thicker arms just kill any vibrations coming into the motor, so you can go ham with the filters and the PIDs. And then, yeah, big-ass motors, lots of KV, with big pitchy props. And it's a really fun rig to fly. I want to fly it more like freestyle in like really big locations, because it's a little heavier and it's just got all that power and you can just hurl it over shit. So, but the problem is I don't want to crash it. Like with these 6mm arms, I can send this thing into the dirt hard enough, I bet, to break the base plate, and that just sucks. So, yeah, every time I think about flying it freestyle, I'm like, and plus I'm not used to 40-degree up tilt, so I kind of fly shitty when I'm flying it as freestyle. When I'm flying it cinematic, it's fine. But when I fly it as a freestyle rig, I have a hard time getting used to the 40-degree up tilt. But, you know. Zanaka says, do you have any issues getting the Glide? I previously had issues getting FPVCycle frames replacement before. Always. Yeah, I mean, always. It's always hard to get FPVCycle stuff. Last time they had stuff in stock, I bought a whole bunch of it. So I have a shitload of extra Glide parts. So, like, I'm fine. That tends to be the key with FPVCycle, is that they will get stuff in stock. When they have stuff in stock, buy as much of it as you can. And yeah, then you'll be good for a little while. But it's a good problem to have. You know, it's don't get mad at FPVCycle about that. He makes a good quality product. He demands that the manufacturers that he works with do a good job, and that limits him on the amount of stuff that he can get. Shout out to the Timcos, Tiny Timco and normal sized Timco sent me over a bunch of RunCam hybrids that they were not using because they saw that I destroyed one at Rampage, and you can't really get them anymore. Well, you can't get the V1s anymore. Oh, these are hybrid 2s. Ooh, very cool. I haven't tried a hybrid 2 yet. Well, that'll be neat. And they also threw in, oh, that's pretty cool. They threw in a Joshua Bardwell edition Phoenix 2. This is actually, I have damn near all of the analog cameras. This is one that I don't have, so this is really cool to add to the collection. Very, very cool. Thank you, Timcos. Super, super, super kind of you. You know, I've got these Ripsqueak builds that are, what is this? Is this a little DVR board? No. What is this? Yeah, I've got these Ripsqueaks that are on these RunCam hybrids, and my God, it's a hell of a little combo. 4K 30 or 2.7K 60, fully enclosed, fully protected, with the separate FPV cam. It's just an awesome little kind of setup. Yeah, ran out of things to say. Apache says, good morning. 661 says, Phoenix 2 is the best looking analog camera you can have. Very cool. I haven't paid much attention to analog cameras in a while, if I'm honest. Moving stuff around. And we're going to do a little bit of work on the Rocinante. because that's the rig that took the biggest beating at Rampage. This is the result of a really half-assed attempt at a gigantic Matty flip. I don't know what I was thinking, but my God, this took some damage. Ate the arm, ate both rear motors, ate the BMC 3D TPU. GoPro stayed in here, just barely. But, so yeah, and I think that this also marks the end of the T-Motor F40 Pro 2 Extravaganza. That has been my preferred 5-inch motor for many, many, many years. Probably like 3.5 to 4 years. They've been harder. They got discontinued probably like 1.5 to 2 years ago, and they've been harder and harder and harder to find. And Cyclone had some of them in 2600 kV, but I'm kind of running out of these lower kV stators. And 2600 kV is a little too high of a kV to motor limit down for 6S. 2400 kV I did a ton of testing on, and it was completely fine to motor limit that down. But yeah, 2600 kV is just a little too much to motor limit down. This fucking Logitech camera is not white balancing again. There we go. Well, no, now it's gonna, whatever. I'm just gonna look like a goddamn zombie. You guys are gonna have to get over it. My God, that prop took one hell of an assault. Veritas Weasel says, burn the latest version on Edge TX on your radio used for Velocidrone. You won't believe the improvement. I don't really use the sim anymore, Veritas Weasel, and if I am using the sim, all I'm doing is teaching in there, working with somebody one-on-one. So I never just don't pay attention in the sim anymore. A while ago, I realized that the simulator was actually like having a negative effect on my flying. What I think is going on is that like the one thing that as you continue to get better and better and better and better and better, there comes a point where the consistency of your rig makes a huge difference. Flying the same rig over and over and over again is what really makes a huge difference. I believe that's because you start to do a lot of like off throttle throw momentum stuff, and you also start doing a lot of like kind of blind sideways backwards stuff. And when you do that stuff, you don't have your eyeballs to reference off of, and it makes it a lot harder. And all you have to go off of is what happened last time. Come on, man. Get off of there. Jesus. That's on there, yo. I think the screw is bent anyway, so it's going in the bin. So yeah, the sim actually does not help me anymore. It helped me a lot for a long time. Like I really credit the sim with a lot of my ability, because for a long time it really just helped me get lots of cheap stick time in. But yeah, there came a point where I just flying in the like practicing in the sim was basically like building another different rig. And you know, we talk about that all the time on here. Like, if you want to get better as a pilot, you want to unify all your stuff. You want to fly the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, for all those same reasons, I've kind of given up on the simulator. I am going to be putting Edge TX on a radio, though, for sure. I have that second QX7. Well, I have the QX7S. And yeah, that's going to be a Edge TX radio. Did I just get a carbon fiber splinter? Was it that fast? Nah, it's just an itch. Ah! 661 says, I have 2 of the Phoenix 2 cameras. I turned down the color gain settings down to 5. Default is 10. Very cool. Gamagonad says, not as much damage as when you somehow put a hole in a Glide base plate. That was crazy, man. Who put a hole in a Glide base plate? I don't remember that. Todd Beal says, man, my 250 didn't break like that. Only kill and arm motor survived. And they are them one called Miss Motors that are pink. I mean, you can't really compare crashes like that. You know, this is one of the more violent crashes I've had in almost 6 years of flying. I mean, this was like I did it on purpose. It was just, yeah, really, really, really bad. But in general, yeah, you can't really compare crashes like that because they all happen in such a unique way that, you know, you could take the worst frame in the world and I'll crash it just right. I'm sorry, and crash it just right that it doesn't break anything. Or you could take the strongest, best frame in the world and crash it just right, and the whole thing will just catch on fire and brimstone and so yeah. The only way to get good crash data is to fly a frame for a long time, and to just crash it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't done anything with my 3-inch frame yet, because I won't let it see the light of day until I've flown it a whole bunch and crashed it a whole bunch. And that just kind of takes time. So it will get done, but yeah, it's going to take a little time. There is a big ass chunk of carbon, of broken carbon shards on here. I'm going to go dump this off the balcony real quick, because that's got carbon fiber splinters written all over it. Hang on. All right. Neighbor's gonna get carbon fiber splinters in their feet. And I'm okay with it. Man, that desk is horrifying below there. I put, when I had the old cutting mat on here, I had a problem with it sliding around, so I put a bunch of, like, some kind of adhesive down there, and now the desk surface looks just vile. Ernesto says, so you like the Glide frame over other frames? Correct. Paulie Lee says, how you doing, my friend? Stay cool. What's up, Paulie Lee? All right, back into it. So this is officially beyond repair. This, like, I've shown you guys how to repair TPU a lot on this channel. Technically, yes, you could put this back together, but this has gone too far. More than likely, when you were melting this back together with a torch, it would warp to the point where the GoPro really wouldn't fit right in there. So yeah, we're just going to pop it off. I have plenty of these TPU mounts. I don't think I have any others in red, unfortunately. So the Rossi is going to be the wrong color for a minute while I get another one of these. Maybe I'll try the Brain 3D Glide mount on this. It's got so this is the BMC 3D one, which I really like because it's front load. The Brain 3D mounts are side load, which are stronger because of the way that they're printed. They're printed on their side, whereas this gets printed on its bottom. So they're stronger, which is really cool. I really like this this sort of front load design. We've talked a ton about it here on the channel. I'm just a really big fan of the front load setup, but I haven't run a side load mount in a long time, so I think it's especially with the sponsorship, you know, it just kind of makes sense to. Brain and BMC 3D are good friends. Brent and Brian talk all the time, so there's no like, it's not like a conflict of interest or anything like that. Me running BMC 3D mounts, but yeah, I haven't run like I said a side load in a long time. I'd love to give it another shot. Previously, what I didn't like about side loads is they would throw the session out the side of the mount.
But I was not running a battery strap around them, and apparently that's just the easy button solution for it. So maybe I'll give that a shot. The other thing I like about these front load mounts is they have a little bit of extra material up on the top corner here. Right there, it's got a little bit of extra material, and that takes a really big beating. But Brian from Brain 3D, he made me an Apex session mount where he added the same sort of little bit of material to the top of the mount. So I'm willing to bet if I ask him really nicely, he'll do the same for me on a Glide mount. Game of Good Ed says, you took out maybe a fifth of the base plate around one of the rear arms. It was years ago. Maybe you were going for that super sketchy dive floors on the concrete. Oh, yeah, probably. That was that dive killed just about everything. Sad. Sad. Perfectly good BMC 3D TPU mount. Just eviscerated. All right, so this motor is just totally fucked too. The motor hit the concrete, and it's completely mangled the bell itself. So we're gonna get this one off here as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to move this rig onto another set of motors, and I think that's gonna be F40 Pro 4s. I think I'm gonna have another rig up on Pro 4s because I am pretty sure that I don't have two replacement F40 Pro 2s that are clean enough. These four motors that were on here were like just barely clean enough to get a half decent tune, but man, they were bordering on being like not kind of good enough. Yeah, that is just fucked into a cocked hat. Let's see though if maybe the stator is still okay. I would love that. I say all this, I'll be really honest, I do have either one or two full sets, well at least I used to, maybe I don't anymore, but I did stash away a full set of 1600 kV F40 Pro 2s clean, and a full set of the 2400s, just because like I know that someday I'm going to be like, ooh, let's do an OG build, and to do it with those motors would be like super kind of cool for me. Just, you know, memories. La, 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 la. I can't sing. I don't even know what song I'm singing. So yeah, Bell is shot to shit. Yeah, that pushed the magnets in. So Bell goes bye-bye. But where's my here it is. Stick the bell on the side of the destroyed motor bell shopping cart. Wish I could get this one out of here. I like to save the bells. You know, save the whole thing. I'll put it over there. Yeah. What was I saying? You were saying! Come out of there. I need that little washer to come out of there. Come out of there, little washer. Get out of there. Alright, let's get this motor desoldered. And let's get these motor wires desoldered. I'll have you know that all of my solder joints survived on this motor that was viciously torn off. It's a good way to judge if you've learned to solder yet. If you're able to solder motors on that will rip a motor completely off and not take any of your solder joints with it, you're doing a good job. Ah, my nose. Looks like the top plate is starting to crack on here as well. which is kind of interesting. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I did blow the top plate up. I'll be damned. That was not on that last crash. I was really mean to this thing at Rampage, though. This is the rig that I was flying around in Micro Mayhem. And, yeah, this thing took a hell of a lot of abuse there. So, I gotta be honest, I'm not super surprised that this top plate let go. And it didn't even go all the way through. It just broke this one side, which is kind of interesting. All right, let's get this. I guess I'm gonna take all the. Let's get this desoldered, and then I can hook this thing up to the motors tab. I can figure out if this stator is okay. The motor 3 stator is okay, and then I can put a bunch of the F40 Pro 2's extra bells that I have on here and see if they spin clean. I mean, they're not going to spin clean because they've all been abused, but I'll see if there's a set of 4 that are good enough. I'm pretty sure that I just went through this, though, and I selected the last 4 that were acceptable. So I don't really have much hope here, but I got to get the motor box out anyway. What happened to the chat? Is everybody just building? Are you guys all building? Nobody likes me anymore? Is anybody still in here? You guys, Senka, you dead? 67 people in here and nobody said anything in the chat in 7 minutes. What are you doing? What are you doing? This ought to wake these fuckers up. There it is. Paul McDonald's editing. You guys too busy for chat? Come on. What are you doing? Filthy pores? What? No, that doesn't make any sense. Insult your audience. That'll get them typing in the chat. There it is. Brandon's Baked Beans is putting kids to bed. Shopping. What are you guys buying? Arbles is technically showering. Did you guys all get Cyclone FPV stuff? Who got some stuff? A couple people mentioned it. Who else got some stuff from Cyclone FPV? How's their? Do they have anything left? Has anybody been there recently, or did we wipe them out? That was a fun stream. Should I do more of those like retail therapy streams? That's what I should call them. Eh. Alright, so I just want to clean these pads up real quick, because I am going to be putting a battery on this. I don't want these to like jump or do anything weird. Alright. Just take a really quick look, make sure nothing is angry. Nah, we look okay. We be looking aight. That little washer has officially disappeared. I don't know where the hell it went. It's probably on my crotchal region. CMYK was looking at some flight controllers, didn't know what he could trust. T-motor. That's all I trust. Grizz FPV got a set of Deadpools. Nice. 24. Yeah, I was close to getting a set of those for this rig, actually. Lord Hendricks says, I run FR Sky, keep getting these horrible failsafes. It's getting worse. I'm running Beta Flight 4.3, but I don't hear anyone else talking about it. What's telemetry inverted? Lord Hendricks, if you're on like old school, regular old FR Sky, I mean, you shouldn't be getting... I don't know. It's one person saying that I get horrible fail-safes is completely different from another. You know, I don't know what your expectations are for FR Sky. Your expectations should be pretty low for FR Sky. But, I mean, you should be able to go, like, behind a whole bunch of trees, maybe behind, like, a building or two. Like, regular old FR Sky is not terrible, unless you've got a shitty antenna setup, or your antenna's broken, or you're not putting your antenna on your transmitter vertical, you're putting it sideways. Like, there's all kinds of mistakes you can make The easy button is just to go to crossfire. That is just such a solid link that you almost can't get it wrong. You still can get it wrong, but it's a lot harder to. So yeah, there's some feedback for you. PJ's and R's trimming DVR clips. How dare I call you dirty? Lord Henrik says, I noticed in the chat done the Runcam Orange mic mod. Huh, I haven't heard of that. Vibration and the HDV improved. Weird. Not weird, just I haven't heard of it. Michael Hill says, have you done anything to the Xnova 1804 quad and wild, meaning changed anything? No, the 1804s are damn near indestructible. That rig is going to be on the bench here as a Rampage repair at some point because I slammed it just unbelievably hard. And those motors are going to be coming off of that rig and going onto the AOS 3.5. So that'll be a really fun build that is coming very soon. I want to get this broken arm off of here because it's so stabby, and it's only a matter of time before I drive some of this carbon fiber into my flesh. This screw, as you can see by the unbelievable wobbling, is quite bent. Whoa, wow. Holy shit. That's a good one, yo. That is a good one. God, that's more bent than my dick. Wow. My dick's really not all that bent. That's what she said. Wait. What? Alright, hold on. Here we go. Yeah, the capacitor's flapping in the breeze, too. Okay. Get this little collar off of here. Oh, come on now. Don't make me pay attention. Just let me hit you with a hammer. Come on! Be cool. Be cool. Come on! Alright, I'll do this right. Just doing it like a weirdo. Yikes! This, oh no, it's coming out. It's coming out. There it goes. There it is. Jesus. There it is. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, so this this screw is just mangled beyond the bounds of all mangledness. Okay. Am I soldering anything else? No, I think I can kick this soldering iron off. Alright, so... Well, I might as well pull the top plate up. So this rig, I'm also going to move the power source for the Vista onto the pads of the ESC. So, suffice it to say, this rig ain't getting done tonight, for the record. Anybody who thought they might get some sense of satisfaction from seeing the Rocinante here get fixed tonight, man, you were so wrong. I also need to change this antenna out, which is going to kind of be a pain in the ass. This thing is going to get torn down pretty good here. Because in order to move the Vista's power source, I have it like all nice and tucked in and shit. So it's, yeah, I'm going to have to get medieval on this thing. But that's okay. All four motors are probably going to change as well. So that's going to create that's going to take a bunch of time. But we'll be all right. Gamagonad says, tell him, I don't know who him is, to switch it now. Running FR Sky cost me $900 when I fail-safe hit a brand new car. Cheaper to switch now. Wasn't even really that far out. Yeah, control links that are not, like, amazing can cause... Yeah, it's scary. Your control link is a really big deal. Where the hell did that screw go? Well, it'll turn up. Yeah, I need to figure this capacitor situation out too. Yeah. Oh, wow. What the what? This hit so hard that it unplugged the fucking flight controller from the ESC. Yo. Oh my god. That's crazy. I did not do that. There's no I would not have done. There's no reason for me to have done that. Yo, that's nuts. That's it kind of doesn't seem possible. Like, I can see it unplugging it a little bit, but it pulled it all the way out, yo. That's crazy. I mean, it was full throttle falling straight down. And it did hit at a really funny angle. Dude, that's wild. That is wild. Let's get that back on there. Alright, cool. Damn, yo. Brutal fatality kind of shit up in here. God damn. I have not plugged this in since Rampage. I don't know if anything still works on this rig. Let's do it now! This is a job for the ViFly V2. Alright. And let's see if it explodes. Yeah, good to go. T-motor and Acon quality all day. The fucking LEDs in the rear even held up. That's pretty cool. Alright. So, and I forgot that I wanted to remove that arm because I don't want to get my head cut off by it. So let me pull the other screw for this arm so I can yank it out of here. Never say die, CMYK says. Is there footage of this crash? There is, Denzel. I played it the other day on the Rampage after action report. Remember, guys.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメやめ諦めたら。周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところ、しじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそ。
There it is, god damn it! There's a greased arm end for you. Gotta try to remember to grease the replacement arm that I put on. Man, it's been far too long since we had a good fucking solid clam man up in our face. You know what I'm saying? Fragmula says, if the FC disconnected from the ESC, maybe that's why the Vista blacked out and didn't come back. So on this crash, I actually had video, but it hit hard enough. Well, no, so it's not why. It was blacking out and not coming back all day long. Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is power supply related. I'm pretty sure it'll be a little bit better once I get it powered from the ESC pads. All right, what time is it? 11:30? This might be like kind of sort of the last thing that we do. My nose is still being a douchebag. And, yeah. That just drives me crazy. So well, first, let me put full voltage to it and make sure it doesn't explode. Oh, please don't blow up. Please don't blow up. Please don't blow up. Hey. What was that noise? Now we're good. Okay, cool. So now we're going to plug into Betaflight. We're going to spin some motors up. We'll check the front two, and then I'm going to put a bunch of different Pro 2 bells on this one to see if any of them are clean enough for use. So let's get that going right now. Oh, thanks, Daniele. Yeah, Rampage is super fun, man. I had a blast. I next year though, it's not always the case. Next next year's Rampage, I've got it all figured out for that Micro Mayhem area, yo. There's gonna be, I'm gonna have a bunch of I'm gonna have a bunch of DJI 3 and 2.5 inch rigs, and then I'm gonna have a bunch of tiny whoops, and I'm really looking forward to doing some hard ass tiny whooping in there. Maybe there'll be some sort of a digital tiny whoop setup by then. I really doubt it. That doesn't really sacrifice performance like they kind of all do right now. But I'm not gonna hold my breath, and that's okay. What are all these? What's in here? Hold on. HD zero whoops. It's just too heavy. It's just too heavy. These are the 2400 kV stators. Okay. So what I'll probably do at some point is there's one rig on the wall that never ever leaves. It's this one over here, and it's Bob's original frame. It's the Flow Ride, and this was the first frame. This is the first 5-inch rig I ever built and whatnot. So it just kind of hangs out on the wall. And right now it's got these Hype Train 2306s on it, which are great motors. But they, I didn't really fly these motors much. I just got like this one set of these motors. This is the rig that I was flying when I found the magic of the F40 Pro 4s. And this is a 4S only rig. So at some point I'll probably move this rig onto this fresh set of F40 Pro 2 2400 kV motors. Because yeah, that was like that was what I flew this rig on. It's still got FR Sky. I got my old school FR Sky antenna, zip tie antenna set up there. Yeah, it's a cool frame too. I really like this frame. There's a lot of things I like about this frame. Some things I don't, but there's a lot to like about this frame. Man, this shit takes me back. It's got an AIO in it right now, actually, a 30 by 30 AIO. Because I hate myself. When I put it like back together, I was like, well, how bad could it be? Pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. Not even gonna lie. There we go. There it is. Alright, so we got that. What else do we got going on? What are these? These are F40 Pro 4 stators with no bearings in them. Are these really 1600s? And then these are all the motor parts. Okay, so this can come out of here. Wah, 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 wah. I really wish T-Motor would put the goddamn KV on the stator. It's really stupid that they don't. Really stupid that they don't. It's just silly. It's just silly to not do that. Okay, let's see what we got here. So move this out of the way. And here is the F40 Pro 2 bag. So we've just got tons of stators. Some of them I've markered what the KV is. So this is a 2400. This is a 2400. This is a 2400. No markings whatsoever. What's this little guy? This is a 1600. Well, that's good, because if I somehow put this back together, I want to use that stator. So that's great. We got a 1600 there. This has no markings, so I'm just going to put it... I'll put it aside. 2400. Anybody need any 2400 kV T-Motor F40 Pro 2 stators? I don't know what these two are. My guess is that they're 2400s. Bob Noxious says later. Tuner Taxi says the HD0 Tiny Whoop VTX and cam is going to be a game changer for you at Rampage. It'll be interesting. I would love to have one built before next year, because it will make a big difference. Lord Henricks, make sure you don't put a space between Ciotti and FPV. How much do you think my PID tune would need to be changed after switching from Eco SpeedX Unibells? Shouldn't have to change at all, but that completely depends upon how close to the ragged edge of the tune that you are. It also depends on the quality difference between those two motors. If one of those motors is really well balanced and the other one's not so well balanced, I don't have any of those answers. So the short answer is, as long as your PID tune is not at the razor's edge, you shouldn't have to change it at all. Man, lots and lots and lots of 2400 kV stators. I don't know what stator this is, but there is a perfectly good red bell connected to it. I only have one extra bell. Okay. And it is kind of whooped. Like, it has taken multiple hits directly to it. And then I've got this 1750 kV bell, which is also kind of banged up. So, yeah. This is the end of the F40 Pro 2 saga. Because I'm just not... Yeah. I'm not going to continue to hunt these down. Okay. If anybody needs F40 Pro 2 stators, let me know. I'm going to take these. Oh, look, I have... That's funny. I have replacement shafts for them. You can have those too. I am going to take the bearings out of these though, because these are the same bearings that that are used in the Pro 4s. So yeah, you're going to get stators without bearings. Although I don't know, I'll probably leave a couple in. Tuner Taxi, message me to remind me, please. And yeah, I'll send you a couple for sure. Alright, so we don't really need to leave this guy plugged in. So the next question is, do I have enough Pro 4s to put the Rossi back together? It looks like I might. Cool. So what do we got here? We've got a 2400. We've got some bells. That's good. Looks like I have enough bells. Will I have enough stators, though? Oh, man, yeah, I got a bunch of bells. Ooh, that one's fucking mangled, though. Jesus, that one's a little rough. That one's looking good. And then there's a fresh replacement bell. Look at that beautiful thing. Okay, what do I got here? Here's a 1950. That's good. That's going to get used. Son of a bitch. The rest of these aren't marked. Oh, but you know what T-Motor did, which is really nice? They changed the color of the windings. The 20... I thought they changed the color. I'm pretty sure they changed the color of the windings. I'm pretty sure that these darker colored windings are the 1950s, and then these lighter colored windings are the 2400s. So 1, 2. Of course, I only have 3. Of course. A horse is a horse. Wow, that's really frustrating. So I'm going to use this beat up bell. And then this is a freshie, right? 1950. Fresh boy. I think this is a 1950 stator with a 2400 kV bell. And I'm going to have to do an order and wait for some shit to get here. God, is that annoying? Well, that's the name of the game sometimes. Cool. So one more rig is moving over to Pro 4s, and that is actually a good thing. Technically, I could just use one of these 2400 kV stators, but I don't love doing that. Gamma Gonad says, for the hassle of reprinting my shipping label, package was received today. Thanks, buddy. You're certainly welcome, Gamma Gonad. Zanaka says, can't do a build session without listening to CiottiFPV. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is going back in the motor box, and well, this is good. This'll. I had an RDQ order all lined up, and then the Mobeetle sold out on me, so I didn't put the order in. Although I did just get an email from them today saying your cart's about to expire, which I think is just a marketing ploy. But Race Day Quads does not work on this computer, so I got to do that on the laptop. So that's fine. I'll snag one more of those motors so that I have one more of those 1950 kV stators. I'll probably actually snag two of those motors so I have two extra stators. Yeah. Yeah. What else can we kind of get back into semi-working order on this build? Well, you know what? I can desolder all these motors. That's nice. I'll get all the Pro 2s in the same spot. Don't need this. We're not going to spin these motors up. Man, the day has come, friends. It's the end of an era. It's the end of the F40 Pro 2 era. I am so the F40 Pro 2 1600 kV. Man, that motor taught me so much about my flying. Taught me not to rely on horsepower to fly properly. Taught me that horsepower does not make you fly better. Kind of makes you fly worse, if you ask me. It's a pretty subjective thing, though, to be honest. Yeah, these motors were durable. They were, for a while, they were cheap. After they got discontinued, I was snagging these things for like 12, 13, 14 bucks a motor all over the place. Yeah, man, these are good to me. And they're light. That's the biggest thing, is that they're light. These are like the second lightest 2306. The Pro 4s are ever so slightly lighter than these guys. I wonder though. Sometimes I wonder if the Pro 4s are any more durable than these. We don't talk about the Pro 3s because they were 2306 and a halves, and thus they were a lot heavier for extra power that I didn't really want or need. They were a hell of a flop. I don't ever hear anyone talking about the F40 Pro 3s, to be honest. Which is kind of interesting. No love for the 2306 and a half. Alright, almost good to go. And I'm not going to bother soldering these three on here, because the three Pro 4s on, because why? Robert Girls says, a reminder to put Clamman on the laptop. I'm only going to be streaming from the laptop for another like month or so. So yeah, I'm not really doing much on that thing to get it up to date. Very, very, very soon, I will be streaming from a home, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna move the Mac Mini over as soon as Maggie and the kids move in there at the end of June. I think I'm just gonna bring the Mac Mini straight over there and just start to get shit set up with that, so that yeah, that thing will get me up and running. Streaming from the laptop is kind of brutal. Although I'm pretty sure that I am gonna set the laptop up to do video game streams with just like a single input from old school gaming consoles at the new house. So that'll be super fun. I'm hoping that Sage and I bond over video games. Felix is young enough that like just me giving them a piggyback ride is the greatest thing in the entire world. But Sage is 16, so it requires a little bit more than that to connect with him, which is great. I'm not complaining at all. But yeah, we connect over video games. We've been playing Cuphead on Xbox lately, which is this side-scrolling, two-dimensional, unbelievably difficult, really gorgeous game. And that's been super fun. But one of my ideas for the house in the basement is to I've got a box with like all the old school consoles: Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. Might even be an Atari Jaguar in there. So yeah, I want to build a little console area, and I'm going to send the audio and the video into the laptop, into a capture card, and then into the laptop. And yeah, that'll be super fun. Looking forward to that. Get our gaming on. Which I'm definitely looking forward to. I miss playing video games. Like it's for me, video games are always the first thing to go when like life kind of gets going. I very quickly take video games out of my life because they do take up it's pretty easy for video games to take up a pretty serious chunk of your time. Yeah, they're fun as hell, but yeah, they can become very time consuming. But I love hanging out with Sage, and they're just an amazing way for him and I to there's that screw that I was looking for half an hour ago. Yeah, really, really cool way for him and I to kind of bond. And it's like he's a 16-year-old, right? Like that's his world. I don't expect him to come into my world. I am more than happy to come on over into his world, and yeah, so it'll be fun, man. I am fucking really looking forward to it. I'm a lucky dude. I'm a really lucky guy. I met an amazing family who have really, like, with open arms welcomed me in. Not immediately, but yeah, they have plenty of reasons not to just let some gangly man into their lives all at once. But man, it happened quick. They warmed up to me really quick, and it's very flattering. So yeah, man, I cannot wait. There's some serious shit going on in the next couple months. It's gonna be busy, but it'll be well worth it. Brandon's Baked Beans says, I have a retro Pi setup with all the classics before PS2 on it. I've trained my kids on classic gaming. That's super cool. And then Lord Henrik says, what is telemetry inversion, and can it affect RX signal if it's inverted and shouldn't be, or vice versa? If you're having an inversion problem, Lord, it either works or it doesn't. So if you're having if you're in a situation where you're not inverted, you're supposed to be inverted, or vice versa, it just wouldn't work. You just wouldn't. And so now on the telemetry side of things, same kind of like, yeah, you just wouldn't have telemetry. So if you have telemetry, I'm assuming you're still asking about FR Sky. yeah, you either have telemetry or you don't. On FR Sky, if you don't have telemetry, it kind of doesn't matter. It doesn't affect. It's not why you're having failsafe problems. I'll put it that way. It's got nothing to do with that. Man, this guy got kind of chungust. I'm gonna. Well, let me hook a battery up. We'll see how many of these LEDs are still working. This took one hell of a prop strike over here. Well, now that I took the motors off, it's kind of hard to tell. Do I just yank it? I mean, it's kind of bent too. Yeah, I'm just going to yank it. I'm just going to remove it. Jacking cars, shooting a car, picking up. Grand Theft Auto. What a series of games. Most of you guys are old enough that I'm sure you remember when that shit first came out and it was a top-down. Oh, God, that changed everything. It's like, wait, I can just do all the horrible things? Oh. See you in a month. Come on, there we go, and... Oh, get off of there. Come on now. Don't be a jackass. I have rabies. What's happening? I can't... There we go. Dude, why you gotta... Just... There we go. Oh, man, that just flung a solder ball. And I don't know where it went. Hell. Hold on. Hold on. It's kind of hard to tell because this ESC is so fucking mangled. But, I don't know. Maybe we're okay. Maybe it didn't go anywhere important. If it blows up, it blows up. I'm going to put voltage to it right now and see if it blows up. Just get it out of the way. Getting it out of the way. Not even using the Vi-Fly. Fuck it. Ah, I can't do it. I can't not use the Vi-Fly. It works. The ESC works right now. Minus potentially that solder ball. Yeah, we're fine. Oh, that was a blue arm LED on the back that I mangled. I don't think I have any more of the blue ones. Damn it. That's okay. Maybe I'll go to red ones. Oh. I only had 2 of these blue ones. I can't believe I killed the one. Whatever. That's the life of an arm LED. Meta13 says I wound the stream back. Looks like it missed the quad. Alright, cool. Thank you, dude. Alright, this antenna has to come off. We might as well jank that. Janky jankopotamus. Man, these arms have to come off too. These front arms are fucked. Man, this thing, this thing took one hell of a lot of abuse at Rampage. This was looking way cleaner before Rampage, and now it's just a hot pile of dog shit. This, I'm probably gonna swap this arm out too, because this devil horn really took a hell of a hit. Jesus, this is going to be almost a full teardown. But that's all of the teardown that you're going to get to see tonight because it is about to be midnight and I am trying to fix my goddamn sleep schedule. I love you guys, but I got to be able to wake up in the morning. It's kind of important with this new life that I've got coming at me. So, I'm going to leave you guys with a riddle. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave you guys with some flying.
And I'll see you on Wednesday for Whoop Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I don't know what we're going to be doing, but we'll do something fun. Love you guys. Here comes some flying from allegedly the best spot in Alpharetta. What's happening here? What's going on there? That's why I crashed on the roof. That'll be fun. Enjoy me crashing on the roof, people. I love you. Be good. See you Wednesday. Later.